Well, he is a former child soldier from Sierra Leone, and she is a former Miss British Columbia. They met at Vancouver Film School and have created a foundation that will improve the lives of child soldiers in West Africa. We have Fasane Keita and Ava van der Starn. Welcome.
Hello, thanks.
Thanks so much for being here. Fasane, let's start with you and just talk a little bit about your story and how you became a child soldier.
Well, the Sierra Leone Civil War was started by a guy called Fode Sanko. We gained independence from Britain in 1961, and then the country was governed by dictators who mismanaged the economy and natural resources. So before the war started, civil servants weren't getting paid and teachers weren't getting paid, so there were a lot of people out on the street. So when Fode Sanko started the war, he promised to bring freedom, equality, and stuff like that. But it turned out he was killing more people than the government. So people stopped fighting for him, so he changed his strategy to go capture a town and kidnap a bunch of young people.
Is that how it happened to you? They captured the town you were in. How old were you?
The first time I was 7.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was with them for a few months, and then I was able to escape because I was captured by the RAF. And I was able to escape, and I go back to the town where my uncle was staying that was taking care of me, but he wasn't there anymore, and the town was burned down. So I had to go recruit. The second time I went to the army because I didn't have a place to stay or somewhere to go or food, so I went to the army and volunteered.
Well, that's the interesting thing, you know, when I was reading about you is even if you can escape being a child soldier, if you don't have skills or an education, there's really nothing else for you. And so you're kind of forced to go back.
And sometimes you rescue a bunch of kids, right? And sometimes these kids end up going back to the society, and sometimes they have to go back to the paramilitary group that kidnapped them in the first place because they have to eat, they need shelter and familiarity because they're used to these people. So we want to prevent that. We want to provide a space where we can have these kids and rehabilitate them.
Yeah, so let's fast forward to now and talk a little bit about what you're doing now and the facility that you're working on.
Yeah, so you obviously, you two met, you heard his story, and how did this turn into the foundation?
So in 2013, I was Miss BC, and rehabilitation of child soldiers was my platform. So then during that year, we decided that we should start our own nonprofit foundation, and because we wanted to control what projects we worked on and where the money went. So 100% of the donations are going to our project, and we cover the costs of running everything.
Let's talk about the project.
Yeah,
so it's a community center where?
We're going to be building a community center in Sierra Leone as our first project. The town's name is Kabbalah, and what we want to do is we want to provide education, skills training, and art and sport therapy programs. And it's to help with ending the cycles from being passed down generationally. There's still a lot of poverty and illiteracy in the town, and we just want to help with the healing after war.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, these kids see so much. Just because the war is over doesn't mean that there's lasting effects. So you'll help with art therapy, you'll have counselors, that kind of thing?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And you're also educating young people here as well and talking to kids locally.
We have been.
What's the reaction of kids when you're telling them about your story and what's going on?
Fascinating.
Yeah, it's amazing. When we started, I thought it was going to be hard because I was like, they're born in Canada, raised up in the West, what would they know about child soldiers? And it turned out they actually have programs in schools where they study it, and they were really, really interested. And I was inspired. I was like, whoa, it blew my mind, and it made our job a lot easier. Now they have Innocence Laws Foundation social clubs in some of the schools. They're trying to build it up, and we're working with them. And they got some bright minds that bring things to the table. I want to do this way. And I was like, yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, and you two are very creative with the way that you fundraise. Obviously, you get the awareness out in schools. You have music concerts because you're a musician.
Yeah.
We have a great photo of you. You're singing, I think?
Yeah, I was singing in one song with him at the concert, and we're both artists. We do acting. I do modeling as well, and Fasane is a musician and a writer. So art therapy is a big thing that we want to incorporate. So yeah, we did have a concert on October 10th. It was called Trading a Gun for a Guitar. And then we also have a fundraiser coming up at the end of November, and it's a self-express community talent show that's going to be happening.
So you're sticking with the arts theme.
Right.
Yeah, we do.
Well, we found ourselves through art, because when I went to Vancouver Film School, because when I first moved out here, I was like, I went into this phase of depression and I couldn't understand it. Because for us back home, PTSD is not like real. For us, we think people from the state who went to fight in Iraq have PTSD. We don't, because we grew up in it.
Yeah, you said something very interesting. You said because you lived war all your life, you didn't expect to get PTSD, whereas maybe someone traveling from Canada and going to a war return country.
Yeah, that's what we thought until I
Life.
went to film school, and when I was in the acting department, all of a sudden it came out, and I started understanding it. And it's more, sometimes it's just a switch just to understand when you wake up, why am I feeling so, why did I had all those nightmares, instead of holding it inside, and when someone says something wrong, you blow off, you understand, you're like, so that's why we want to stop that circle so people won't pass that on to their kids and abuse them, so they know it's what they experience, they have to deal with it. And we want it to be like art therapy, people can write about stuff.
And it's what you know, you both know.
That's
very inspiring.
Yeah, I was going to say, obviously going through it, you know what you need, you know what works, and we really appreciate both of you and the work you're doing and sharing your story. Thanks for
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Check out our website, innocencelostfoundation.com.
Yeah, if you want to check them out and everything they're doing, you can go to the talent show that we mentioned as well. The Self-Express Community Talent Show is happening November 26th at 7 p.m. at the G.W. Graham Theater in Chilliwack. You can check out their website for all the information. We'll be right back after the break.